A very good evening to all our attendees and viewers who are watching us live on Facebook and YouTube. A very warm welcome to the Author Saga series. A quick recap for those of you who are new to Pick a Book. Pick a Book is all about reading and more reading and inculcating the habit of reading, research, and presenting the summary of it in our regular meeting sessions. Creating a better world by changing the sense of self through the habit of reading is the vision of Pick a Book. Currently, Pick a Book marked its inspiring presence in four countries: Sri Lanka, India, Singapore, and UK, with over 1,200 plus readers, 19 regions, and 100,000 plus people inspired through our sessions in just a span of 1.5 years. Pick a Book continues to spread its wings across the globe, and we have come up with this new initiative, a brand of its own called Author Saga Series, wherein the authors can reach their readers and individuals with like minded interests. Authors can also discuss key insights from their books and the I mean the audience can have this wonderful opportunity to know from the author himself. So today, no, without much delay, let's invite Mrs. Chaya Srivatsa with her wonderful book called Bringing Up Boys. Chaya Srivatsa holds a master's degree in English literature and a bachelor's degree in law. She has been a lecturer for 10 years and continues, her passion for teaching as a management trainer for corporates. She's a prolific writer. She has been an independent journalist for over 3 decades, and she authored several books. Her latest book, Bringing Up Boys, is available on Amazon in both Kindle version as well as the paperback version as well. So she has founded an NGO called Guild of Women Achievers and runs an internet radio station, WAR, which means Women Achievers Radio. So, having worked as a senior executive in both public and private sector, Chaya birthed out of her last assignment of 10 years in 2017 as a life coach with a global education center at Infosys, Mysore. So, a few awards to name. She won Garden City JC Award, awarded her the Pearl of Bangalore title for her achievement in the field of communication, and the Rajasthan and Bangalore chapters of Public Relations Society of India conferred the Outstanding Women PR Award, and she also won the Case Study Award at All India Public Relations Society of India conference, and many more to list down. So now a very warm welcome, Chaya Srivatsa. It's a pleasure to have you with us tonight.
Hello. Hi, Swarna. Nice meeting you. And it is Srivatsa, not Srivatsa. Take the V off.
Oh, Srivatsa.
Yep.
Oh, Srivatsa. Oh,
Yes.
okay. 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 Okay,
This was
great.
always a issue with my
Always.
husband. That was his name. He would
Ah,
always say, "Why do they not pronounce my name properly?" I said, "Well,
okay.
you have such a interesting name, so it
Yeah,
has
it's
been."
usually Srivatsa. I mean, I never, heard this word called Srivatsa.
Yeah.
So,
It's a
yeah, so that way.
typical Iyengar name.
Okay, that way. Okay, okay. Now I got it. Though it was written as Srivatsa, I thought V was missing. So
Oh,
I added the
yeah.
V.
I saw it there. It's okay.
That's okay. Good. Okay. So once again, a very warm welcome to
Thank
Chaya
you.
Srivatsa.
Yeah, that sounds
Yes.
better.
Good. Okay. First of all, let me take this opportunity on behalf of Pick a Book, to congratulate you on the success of this wonderful book, and we all wish you a long way in writing.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Swarna, because for me, this is my magnum opus, bringing
Great.
up boys, because very close to my heart. And I did it during the pandemic time when there was a lot of time. And
Hmm.
I thought of this and I wrote it in about 2.5 months.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's great. Yeah, that it kind of opened up, a new opportunities in a way.
Yeah,
The pandemic.
absolutely.
Hmm.
And I
Great.
lived with my son after a long time during the pandemic. I lived with my son for 2 years.
Okay.
And I saw my sons from a different perspective altogether.
As from first mother to a father, right?
Not really. I saw them as individuals, not as a mother.
Okay,
And I
great,
thought, somewhere I must have done something good. So let me write about it.
good.
So,
Okay, yeah. So yeah. So okay. Before I start the conversation further,
okay.
I want to know: are you an avid reader? Right from your childhood.
Absolutely. My God, right from Noddy series,
Oh,
Enid
okay.
Blyton, and it went on later on to Somerset Maugham and, Pearl Buck. And I would read the entire works of one particular author.
Oh,
And I
okay.
had a ledger in which I wrote the name of the book and the author and my remarks on that book.
Oh, okay.
So I was a very voracious reader,
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
but now I
So
don't. Now I don't.
not now
Now I
you don't.
don't.
Okay, so now you're writing, and you have taken the other part of
Writing,
it.
yeah, but it's difficult. I'm 75 years old. I don't find it very comfortable to read now.
Okay, okay,
So I just listen now.
okay. Okay, so one more thing is, okay, so because you are an avid reader yourself, so how
Okay.
do you think reading books played a key role in making you what you are today? Be it whatever you are doing. Where do you put, where do you give the place for this reading habit as
I give
such?
it top-notch place
Oh,
because reading honed my skills,
okay.
in my vocabulary, then the the whole way of phraseology, whatever, and characters. The characters would come up alive from the books,
Yes,
and they became
absolutely.
my friends.
Mm.
So I just couldn't put a book down till I finished it from page to page, cover to cover. My grandfather used to tell me, even if the house is on fire, Chaya will not know. That
Okay,
was my reputation as a
reader.
secret book.
So, what's your favorite genre? Usually.
You know, initially, yes, it was fiction. Initially,
Okay,
it was like,
like
okay, I
every
want
child.
to know what's
Yeah,
happening next and what's happening next. And it was a
yeah.
kind of a cheap thrill, I don't want to use that word, but that's what it was. But subsequently, when I started doing my master's in English literature, I
Mm.
started reading more of biographies,
Oh, okay.
like Queen Victoria's biography and about
Mm.
Louis the 14th. Those
Oh,
things interested me about the real life stories of people.
yeah.
Okay, the biographies that interested me. Later, when I became a management trainer, I
Mm.
started reading management books. Tom
Okay.
Peters and Peter Drucker and people like that.
Mm.
Stephen Covey. I got
Yeah.
hooked onto those writers.
Okay.
And lately, I'm hooked on Srimad Bhagavad Gita.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Once in a lifetime, everybody must go through at
And
once.
it kind of
Yeah,
puts everything in perspective.
everything. Yeah, exactly.
Everything in
It's a
perspective.
mother
And
of all the books.
what are you so far? You're reading it here. So then you realize that
Mm.
all this was copied by others in some form or the other. Let's take
Yeah,
Stephen Covey's Seven Habits of Highly Effective People.
true.
When I read it, I said, wow, I hadn't read the Gita at the time. When I read the Gita, I said, this sounds familiar. Okay, then I said, that's where all the gyan is coming. What an amazing book it is. I mean, the whole thing. Those verses from the Gita,
Yeah,
I listen to it every day. And every day it opens up a
oh,
new perspective to it.
new perspective.
I
Beautiful.
listen to it. I don't read it now.
Hmm.
I listen to it.
Okay. Okay. So, where did this spark of a writer in you started? When did it started? Like how the journey as a writer started in first place.
Very interestingly, that's a nice question you asked me. Uh, when I was in college, I wanted to take up journalism as a subject. This was way back
Okay.
in 1962. okay,
Mm-hmm.
and it was available only in a co-ed college. My father refused to send me there, so I
Hmm.
missed it. I said, okay, but somewhere deep within there was this urge to write, but I didn't know what to write, how to
Okay.
write. I just kept quiet. When my husband was
Okay.
he was in the Indian Navy, he was posted in Vishakhapatnam, which was a kind of
Hmm.
a one-horse town at that time, way back in 1973. And I would read a lot of books because our naval library was full of beautiful books there. And
Oh,
every
okay.
day when he came for lunch, I would tell him, you know what, this is the book I read today. And so one day he said, listen, you're only reading. Why don't you write? I said,
Hmm.
ha ha. So next day when he came for lunch, I
Okay.
had written a small piece called No Sabbath for a Housewife.
Okay.
Just a kind of
Mm-hmm.
in lighter vein about how women never have a Sunday. No Sabbath for a housewife. He read it and he said, that sounds good. Why don't you send it to a newspaper?
Okay.
I said, okay. And I sent it to Deccan Herald.
Okay.
And a couple of days later, I got a check for 32 rupees.
Oh, wow.
They have accepted it and they published, and believe me, I never looked back after that.
It's
So, in a
wonderful.
way, I started writing because my husband said, I'm a good writer, go ahead and do it.
Wonderful.
And
Wonderful.
then one thing led to another. I went and joined the Times of India as a sub editor with Vimla Patil,
Okay.
who was extremely encouraging. And I wrote for Vinod Mehta when he was with Sunday Observer.
Okay.
Yeah, I wrote for all the major publications when I was in Bombay. Almost 3,000 published articles I have.
Oh, wow. Wonderful.
And I have all the cut clippings with me, you know.
Awesome.
I'm sure my sons will just throw them out after I. What's all this
No,
rubbish?
that's a treasure. That's a treasure even kids would love to keep.
I don't know about that. But you know what I did? I was smart. I picked out 200 of the best ones I've written
Mhm.
and scanned those because I had the original and put them all into a coffee table book. It's called Journey of a Journalist.
Oh, wow. The title is also so beautiful.
Pen drive. It's called pen drive because we wrote in a
Right.
pen. We didn't have computer and all that at that time.
Oh, okay.
So this is supposed to be a one of its kind book because even uh, these publishers who where I kind of released the book in Bombay, they also said, I don't think any journalist has done anything like this in the world.
Okay.
So,
Beautiful. Great to know that. Okay, so when talking about this book, bringing up the boys. So, why did you choose this title, especially? And of course the subject as well, because it's like usually it's like they write books on parenting in general, or else they are this kind of stuff. But you specially choose bringing up boys. So why is that?
because, when I, as a girl, okay, today is supposed to be the girl child day or something like that. We are three sisters, and it was always at home, my aunts and grandmother and everybody telling us, you've got to know how to cook, you've got to know how to keep house, you have to, you know, don't sit with your legs apart,
Mm,
all kinds
yeah.
of do's and don'ts for us. Then I
Yes.
found my cousins, my male cousins, they were kind of getting away with it. Nothing
Mm.
was told to them. Study, study, study. That's all was told to them. And I said, hey, come on. Everybody knows that girls are brought up like this, but nobody's spoken about how the boys have to be brought up.
Yeah.
And today's women, the new woman, she's got to have a different kind of perspective from the man.
Mm.
He cannot expect my mom did that, so you also must do it types. It won't work.
Exactly. Yeah.
She'll say, well, my father was like that, so why can't you be like my father?
Mm. True.
So, isn't it? So I thought, let me write about how boys have to be brought up. Now, when I mean talking about how they have to be brought up, it's the narrative you give them.
Okay. Mm.
It's not about the clothes, the food. That all that should be the same.
Okay.
Both the girls and the boys should have nutritious food, balanced diet. exercise, study, all those are common factors. But the
Okay.
narrative that you give them,
Okay.
go and get a glass of water for your brother. No way.
Hmm. Okay.
Go and get a glass of water for your sister.
Hmm.
Oh, why should I do it? The
Yeah.
same thing goes as they become husbands. And I found many of the guys, I remember when I went shopping in Patel Brothers,
Mm-hmm.
New Jersey, I'd gone to babysit my grandchildren there. There was this guy in Canada, he's
Mm-hmm.
asking his wife, who is standing 4 or 5 miles away
Mm-hmm.
in Canada. Okay?
Okay.
Le. Le means hey.
Okay.
Le. Takondya. He said, Howduri Hanji, she said. I
Hmm.
said, excuse me,
Mm.
why lay for her and Hanji for you? And the
Okay.
women don't mind it. They continue, and I've seen all the Kannada serials, Tamil serials everywhere. The
Uh,
wife is addressing him in a very respectful manner,
yeah.
and he addresses her in, Gile ki jao, wo the rako.
Informal. Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, no, this won't work.
Okay.
And I thought about it. The more I thought about it, I said, hey, let me write about this.
Good.
How do you address women? And they'll say, ye item hai, ye piece hai,
Hmm.
ye chick hai.
Hmm.
I mean, it's got a name, right?
Yeah.
Address her by her name. And all our electronic media,
Hmm.
films, everywhere,
Hmm.
ye kali, kali, aankheं, come on. आंखें खाली तो होती है unless you're in Western countries, blue or needy for only. It's always describing a woman by her
Women.
physical assets.
Yeah. Yeah. That has to be changed.
That
Truly.
has to be changed. I remember, I'm a member of the Bangalore Club in Bangalore. So it's a very male oriented club.
Hmm.
In fact, we didn't even have primary membership as women. I fought
Oh.
for it. Yeah, I fought for it. And the son of a permanent member could become a member out of turn,
Mm-hmm.
but not a daughter.
Okay.
So I started fighting for my rights as a woman and, lobbied around and everything. Finally, they said, okay, okay, come in, come in.
Mm-hmm.
So I stood for the election also, which was something.
Great.
That time, my male friends would take me to each table and introduce me and say, she's a very charming lady. You must vote for her. I said,
Hmm.
excuse me, I'm anything but charming. Introduce me as somebody
I am
who's
more
got,
than charming.
yeah, I said,
Exactly.
introduce me as somebody with leadership skills, communication
Yes.
skills.
Yes. Yes.
Look at us women as
Hmm.
those with the same kind of hunar that you have.
Exactly.
Don't describe us by, oh, you're looking beautiful. Thank you, my mirror told me that. I don't need your endorsement for it.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, exactly. But men think that they have to compliment you on your physical assets. No, you don't have to, isn't
True.
it?
Yeah.
So these are the kind of things I'm talking about there. And let me tell you another interesting thing. When you're filling up a form in an office or passport or something,
Mm.
father's name.
Mm.
Nowhere do they say mother's name.
Mother's name. Yeah.
A father is a belief,
Mm.
mother is a conviction.
Exactly. Mm.
So you got to know the mother's name, her educational qualification, what are her,
Mm.
good or bad aspects, because that is shaping the man,
Exactly.
not the father.
Yeah.
So there was this cousin of mine who retired from the
Mm.
federal waste management thing, whatever, in the US.
Mm.
So they gave him a citation to be given to his mother.
Mm.
Beautiful one, which auntie kind of framed it and put it in her drawing room, where they said, we thank Mrs. Nagaratna for giving us a person like so and so who's
Okay.
contributed so much for this, this, this.
Wonderful.
I thought that was an amazing HR activity.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now we got to change these things, don't you think so?
Oh yes, definitely. That if we can see in that perspective, the world looks very very beautiful. A lot of women will have that strength to come out of their little cages they have. In fact, they create it for themselves because of the circumstances they are going through. You know. Yeah, that gives them the freedom or the kind of confidence. Things like this would give them that kind of a confidence to open up and be what they are.
And their contribution is recognized.
Mm, exactly. The
I
way it
remember
has
my,
to be.
my husband used to say, if my sons are doing well, he'll say, well, they are my sons, and if they're up to something, tell your son. I said, excuse me, he's also your son. Maybe it's coming from you. But that's another thing I've communicated here is that the best thing a father can do to his son
Hmm,
is to be good to his mother,
exactly. Exactly.
because the boys
Hmm,
emulate their fathers.
hmm,
Father is the role model for them.
true, true.
So if you treat your wife like
Yes.
an individual, like a
Hmm,
person in her own identity,
hmm,
that is communicated to the boys.
exactly.
Now,
Exactly.
I don't know how many people have thought about it from those angles. Parenting books don't talk about that.
Don't talk about that. Yeah, I agree to it because this is one strong point. It's very connecting actually, because a lot of people, I mean, especially when we become mothers, we see this difference, between father and mother. When there is that kind of attitude from the father, there's a whole lot of difference that comes in giving that respect to a mother.
Yeah.
Usually children are like, father is a deciding factor at home, or father is the ultimate thing. So they kind of take moms easy. They're only meant for feeding them or giving them what they want. They look at from that perspective, unless and until the head of the family, or so called the father, gives that respect. She has equal rights along with the father. So it's like equal contribution from her. So that's when they give the equal respect to mother. Yeah, so
So,
that's
and it's not like I'm talking about this. I raised my boys with these kind of principles. So my book is divided into four parts.
that's what my next question is going to be.
The
So I
first part,
understood. Yeah.
I'm just talking about parenting a boy,
Mm,
what goes with it and whatever. Next,
yeah.
I talk about my entry into motherhood
Okay.
and little tidbits about the kind of rules I had for them.
Mm,
Okay. Like, I mean, for example, every morning I have found many mothers shouting at their children, get up, bus will come, have a bath, blah, blah. No shouting with me.
okay.
Because I was a lecturer, I had to protect my voice.
Okay.
Okay, so no screaming. So I had very strict rules. I would put on All India Radio with Bharati. They had all these kind of jingles. It's
Okay.
mummy, mummy, modern bread. When that comes, you're gonna come to the breakfast table. Okay. So लखानी जूते जो खिस सकते हैं लेकिन I would just switch it on loudly and oh my god, Lakani shoes, then let's wear our shoes and so on. So I made All India Radio do my work. So
That's
it
very
was
funny.
totally peaceful at home. There was no shouting, no screaming or anything. And I
But
had
do you
a
think that
timetable.
works for this generation?
No, you know something? Every generation is open to the right kind of training.
Okay.
But the parents have to be trained.
Have to train. Yeah, true. And that
Isn't
should be
it?
started from the very early stage as well.
They say there's no bad child, there are only bad parents.
Oh, yes, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a timetable. Mondays, you go for bath first. Tuesday, you go for bath. So there's no fighting here who's going to go have a bath first.
Mm-hmm.
They just, oh, it's Tuesday, now it's my turn. They'll go. Okay, who's
Okay.
going to open the door when the bell rings? Because we lived in this huge flat in Bombay, Dhanraj
Okay.
Mahal. Long
Okay.
corridor. So when bell rings, it was quite a walk.
Oh, okay.
So Mondays you open the door, Tuesdays you open the door, Wednesday. So everything was spelled out. So there was absolutely no fighting over
No
stupid
fighting.
things.
Okay.
If they
That's
lent
great.
anything to each other, they had to write it down. I have lent my shirt to by blah blah blah, and they had to
Okay.
sign it. It was a contract. I mean, it
Okay.
might sound like it's regimented. Well, you need to regiment your children.
Have to. But that's quite lacking these days. Like
Absolutely.
how you said, yeah, like how you said, you know, yeah, because parents also have become more, leisurely. Like they're not taking it so seriously. Just letting kids,
Get away with anything.
get away with anything, maybe because of having
Lack
only
of
one
time.
child at home, or in lack of time, or both of them working. They want to take don't want to take the headache of going through that discipline and all.
And they're not on the same page. Husband and wife are not on the same page.
Not on the same page. Yeah, that's another big thing I would say also.
And
Yeah,
the children take
they're not
advantage of it.
free. That's the that's their major advantage for any kid.
They'll say,
That's the
okay.
happiest thing when parents are not agreeing on a thing. That's the happiest thing for kids.
So there are so many things like this which I put in the book, like
uh,
what is it that, and things like, for example,
mm,
menopause,
mm,
menstrual cycle. They don't know anything about all this.
yeah, true. Mm,
Okay. And they make fun of their girls in the school or college and saying, oh, look, understand what it is.
yeah.
It's a nature's way of telling you that she is different from you.
Yes. Mm,
Okay. And she's got to prepare for her reproductive role.
yes.
You're in a productive role, but today she is both in a productive and reproductive role.
Reproductive role. Yeah.
You've got to appreciate that.
Exactly.
Then I'll talk about your mother. She goes through her own midlife crisis. So
Mm,
maybe she's a little hyper or she'll get angry with you. Please understand she's going through menopause.
yeah. Mm,
Now, these are not things which are told to the boys.
mm. True. They keep it as a taboo. It's like a taboo
And,
even.
well, even the husbands don't know. Even
Exactly.
brothers don't know. Nobody knows because
Nobody
nobody
knows
talks
this.
about it to the
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
How can you talk about all this? Well, why not?
Have to. Have to. So, but only then they can understand that part of it. When they understand something, it's usually like that, right? When they understand the concept or the reason behind, that's when they can decide. They can, actually accept that. Unless and until they are not told, or they don't understand, it's like a piece of fun for them. They can
Exactly.
talk what they like. Hmm.
Oh my God, she's got PMS. Look at the way yeah, she's got PMS. So
Yeah,
be empathetic. Don't make fun of that.
exactly.
One day, if you get that, God help you. And she goes through it month after month after month. You know,
Yeah.
these are things which are not told to boys.
Yes.
I remember once my son was about 8 years old. He
Mm.
asked me, Mom, can you get me one aftershave lotion? I mean, he didn't even have a single bit of hair on his face. And he said, Get me aftershave lotion. I said, nah, what do you want that for? If you had a daughter, you would have got her sanitary napkins, no? I said, okay. So now he's giving me back my own. I said, okay, granted, you'll get your aftershave lotion. So,
That's fun.
another thing is most mothers who have sons get
Mm.
stressed out.
Mm.
What I want to say is don't get stressed out. Enjoy them.
Mm.
Boys are naughty. If they are not naughty, then they are not boys.
That's a nature.
Okay, channelize their naughtiness.
Exactly.
Okay, they give you trouble eating. Make them sit down and give them stories and spend time with them. You got to spend time.
Yes.
both with girls and boys. But because I have boys and I've raised them, I spent a lot of time. I didn't go to work till they were 10 years old.
Hmm.
For
True.
me, it was very important to invest my time in them.
And exactly. Especially those first few years are very, very important
Very important.
in any upbringing. Yeah, this is one thing I've learned from my own experience as well. Generally, what we think as parents is that okay, she or he is still very young to to understand, or they're very young to force them to do some things and things like that. But we hardly think or accept that fact that if not at that time, it is difficult to make it a lifestyle after a certain point of time. So yeah, so
And you got to discuss with your children
mm,
issues that are of concern to the family.
yes, yes,
Don't protect them from it. Don't isolate them from it.
yeah,
Okay? Whether it's financial issues
financial
or
things, yes,
emotional issues, families, kuch bhi.
yeah,
Discuss with them. Make them part of that life of yours.
yeah,
I remember when my husband missed his promotion. Now, this
mm,
is a big thing in the services
mm,
when you miss your promotion. Okay?
okay,
And including the maid and the children, they all get a promotion when the man gets a promotion. Even the maid, mera sab captain ban gaya, that types. Okay? So I called them up. They were about 10 years old. I called them up. Hey, you know what? Daddy missed his promotion. So they looked at me and said, so what? Is daddy no? That was their first reaction. I said, go. You're on the right path. Okay? So they knew what it was. I never protected them from all these things. Later, I told them, Daddy is not going to leave the Navy because a lot of people do. We've decided we'll stay back. Oh,
okay.
you're going to be in Bombay now? I said, yeah, yeah, we're going to be in Bombay. So I
Okay.
think this is very important for boys to know, especially, he's got a better iPhone, whatever, get me. Tell him, show him your passbook. It doesn't matter.
Mm,
Tell him, see, these are the expenses that we have.
true.
Make them part of your, I won't say problem, make them part of your life.
Life, exactly.
It's very important.
Yes, that's very, very important. Yeah. Every point that's being discussed here today, especially is like, it's a very good thing. Like, everybody, it's a very, very important thing for each one of us to understand what is being, talked here, the conversation, the type of conversation that's going on. So usually it's difficult for a lot of people to digest that, but then, that's the way it has to be, to get the right results. um, exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's a beautiful conversation with Chaya, and she's been too good in giving the
Thank you.
answers in so beautifully. I'm not yet done with the questions, but then
Okay, I thought it's over.
no, no, no. I'm just connecting to the audience in between. Yeah.
I must
Okay.
show you
So,
the back cover of my book
okay.
because I've interviewed 10 other mothers
Okay.
who have
Yeah,
two
it's
boys.
thoughtful. Yeah.
Okay, if you see, you can see Rahul Dravid. I've
Yeah.
interviewed his mother also here.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are different moms here. There one mom who is a wife of a martyr, Kargil martyr. But
Okay.
both her sons have now joined the defense forces.
Yeah.
And she spoke about how she raised them as a woman who's lost her husband. Another person is a single mom. So you see, it's not only about me, I've also put their other mothers
Mm,
in the
okay.
book.
Beautiful. Okay. So, okay, let me hear it from you. You being a part of 21st century, and you having seen the both sides of the world, that slow paced world back in 80s, and very, very fast paced world in 2020s now. So how do you foresee the change that's going to happen? So what do you think, things will happen in 20 years down the lane when it comes to the gender equality, or uh, the boys looking at the world, or girls looking at the world? So What do you expect, or what do you see?
Well, you know something, right from Mahabharata time, men looked at women the same way.
Mm.
Continues like that. Nothing has
Oh,
changed.
okay.
Okay? I mean, there was Kunti who said, share the booty. All, and the booty happened to be the wife.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, she
Mm.
didn't even think for a moment, let's see what the booty is. She just
Yeah.
said, share it.
Mm.
Okay, that's the kind of freedom she gave to, that was given to men.
Sons. Yeah. Mm.
And women were only part of that.
Yeah.
Things haven't changed much. Even today, it's like that.
Mm. Okay.
You know, even in see, I've worked in both private and public sector. I've
Mm.
been in advertising, I've been in journalism, I've been in academics,
Mm.
everywhere,
Mm.
everywhere.
Okay.
You've got to fight your way.
Fight your way. Yeah.
And if you fight your way, you're considered as a fighter.
Fight. Exactly.
You are considered to be aggressive, you're considered to be authoritative. Well,
Mm.
the same thing is called leadership in a man.
Yeah. True.
Against the narrative. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What are
Exactly.
the words we use for this? Oh, she's very aggressive. She's a
Very-
fighter.
yeah. True. When she talks more of a woman's rights, and she becomes a feminist.
And they don't even know the meaning of what is feminism. And they say, oh, you're an empowered woman. What does it mean? It's very different from being powerful. Empowerment is different. Being powerful is different.
Yes.
So there are so many things like this, you know.
Mm.
And to a large extent,
Mm.
mothers are the ones who give the wrong ideas to men.
Yeah.
You agree?
I agree. I agree. Yes.
And they do the
Because
same thing to the daughters. If they have daughters, I brought up my daughters like boys. I said, Q, they are daughters, bring them up like daughters. So it's almost like they are being apologetic about the fact they don't have a son. Like my son tells me, my mom brought me up to be a great housewife. I'm a bad husband. He says this on his radio show. You know, he has this radio show. He's a great cook. He's a great homemaker. He's really good at it. Because they helped me when I was a working woman.
true.
So they don't find it just below there. But today's youngsters, boys, very helpful. Hats off to them.
Yeah.
Because you see, they're all studying and working and away from home. They take up apartments and they run their home and they do it very methodically. That's what I like about it.
Yeah. Yeah. They're
The
becoming
guys
good
are,
cooks as well.
they cut bhindi, they'll cut it beautifully like an engineer
Mm.
cuts the bhindi. Okay?
Yeah, in fact, I don't know where this, like how I think it's in Mahabharata also we have a cook, right? I don't know his name, Nalabhim, whatever. He's the one, right? The cook. I
Yeah,
think.
today the best chefs in the world are men.
Amen.
Exactly. But why is it infra-dick to cook at home?
Yeah,
And
true.
they very professionally they cook, even if
They
they
do.
are
They
not
do.
professionals.
They
Like I
do.
see my son cooking. Oh, he keeps only minimum vessels. He'll wipe it
Ah,
here. He'll never pile up dishes. And he tells me, he said, Mom, you don't come to the kitchen. I'll cook. I said,
I know.
okay, I'll be happy.
Seriously, they do it very well.
They do it very well and they run their homes. And that's why they don't want to get married. There are many, many guys who are in their 30s, 40s. Na, 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 shaadi nahi chahiye.
No, at least they get the realization by then.
Yeah. And the girls don't want to get married for different reasons.
For
They
different
don't want
reasons.
to deal with mother-in-law and somebody like me,
Ah.
sister-in-law.
they're they're happy to have a mother-in-law like you, probably, because
No, I
who
don't think
gives.
so because a woman like can be very intimidating. It is.
Okay.
It is for any woman to find somebody like me hanging around at home and the son being really ma oriented and all that.
Yeah.
One thing let's accept. Men, however, managing director, chairman, whatever, they're all mama's boys.
Yeah, yeah, true, true.
Isn't it? They are.
Exactly. Like how the girls are papa's girls.
Yeah, it's okay. It doesn't matter because we are not in competition here.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I'm very happy I have two daughters-in-law to whom I have sompofied my sons. I had enough of making rotis for them, taking care of them. Now you take care of them. I'm quite happy taking care of myself. That's it.
Okay.
So if you have that kind of a, North Pole, South Pole, it's great.
Good. Okay,
And
so yeah, great. So I think we finally, come to almost end of the
end
session.
of
So I
it.
would like to, yeah, I would like to end it up with this last question of mine. Otherwise, we continue talking like this, and a lot of people.
Okay.
So then, yeah, so far, we have been talking a lot from parents perspective, or that bringing up or raising up children's perspective. So what is that one piece of advice, if I would ask you, you want to give to this generation boys on how they look at this gender equality?
There's no question of gender equality.
Hmm.
It's just gender sensitivity.
Okay, that's great. Hmm.
Okay. We're all born equal.
Hmm. Hmm.
Who are you to make us feel equal?
Okay.
Okay. We are not talking about equality here because the
They can
playing
never be equal in a way.
no, because
Yeah.
playing field is different.
Yeah. Yeah.
As I said, we have a reproductive role, which becomes a handicap after some time, health wise,
Yeah.
time wise, so many things. You got
Mm.
to accept it.
Mm.
We can't wish it away.
Yes.
Isn't it? So let's not talk about equality, but we are talking about gender sensitivity.
Sensitivity. Yeah.
You understand, as a woman, she goes through this, this, this.
True.
And where am I in that? I'm
Mm.
as a friend, a support.
Mm.
That's all. Neither to make fun, nor to make her feel like a queen. Nothing.
Mm. Yeah.
And that's all. If you understand that,
Mm.
I think there'll be better interpersonal relationships. I
Exactly.
won't even call it gender, I'll call it interpersonal.
Interpersonal. Wonderful. See, the words we put in change bring in a lot of energy into it, because it's because all the while it's like everybody talking about gender equality, but in true sense, what is required is gender sensitivity. But boys can
Absolutely.
never become girls, the girls can never become boys.
Shouldn't. They
Yeah, like
shouldn't
how
be.
they shouldn't. And like how we say they go through a different all, I mean, their mindsets, be it their physical or mental, everything is different, so we just can't compare them on the same grounds. So it's like how you said, gender sensitivity is the right word, ladies and gentlemen. Let's stick to it from now. I'm very impressed with this word. I'm
Yeah.
hearing it for the first time. So gender sensitivity, be sensitive to the gender for their own qualities they have, for what they are, rather than treating them as equal in everything. Everybody is good at their own way, with their own nature. So gender sensitivity is what required to understand each other as a person, as a human being.
Yeah.
So
That's important. As a
that's
human being, be
that's
human.
be human. Yeah.
Humanism, not feminism.
True. That
Humanism.
is more important. That is more important.
Thank you so
Yes.
much, Swarna, for picking my book.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank
you.
you so much, Chaya. Thank you. So, you have been so sport, and you have given such a beautiful inputs today. You have taken out your wonderful time to share your experiences and the knowledge, because, people like you, will have loads and loads of knowledge. That's how you can write books. And books is one such medium where, it can travel to a lot of people.
Absolutely.
It's yeah.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much. And this topic has been amazingly beautiful. So I picked up my few best points from this conversation. So I'm not going to use the word gender equality anymore.
Don't use that word at
Yeah,
all. I hate it
too
when
odd.
people talk about it.
Seriously, now I understand the depth of it. But I always, in my mind, maybe what is this gender equality? Equality, I have this sense that, cannot be equal. How can one be equal? Because the ground is totally different. The
Totally.
players are totally different. Yeah. So then they can't assess them on the same ground, right? So then
Rules are
this
different.
is
The
rules are
rules
different.
are also different.
Yeah.
But
So that.
before, if you can give me 2 minutes, can
Yeah,
I?
yeah, sure, 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 sure.
I just want to tell you that I'm very proud of bringing up my boys to be in tune with each other
Mm.
without any sibling rivalry.
Yeah.
Okay, because my older son is a neurosurgeon,
Okay.
my younger son is a maverick.
Mm.
He's got his own startup company, he's into radio, internet
Okay.
radio, and things like that. But
Okay.
when my older son had a renal failure,
Mm.
my younger son donated his kidney to his brother.
Wow.
For me, I think that is almost like a karna kind of a
Mm.
thing, to do that.
Yes.
In
Yeah.
today's generation, where there are a lot of brothers fighting over property and things like that, for
Yeah.
him to give a part of his
Part
body
of
to
his
his
body.
brother, he
Wonderful.
says, I gave it out of love.
Mm.
And they are connected each other as brothers. And for me, as a mother, for me,
That's
it's the greatest gift that God
yes.
has given me to have sons who are so supportive to each other.
Wonderful.
And
That's
I think a
beautiful.
mother plays a very big role in
Vital role. Exactly. Exactly. I'm going to say that because from what the conversation that happened today with you, that's what it concludes as. It's all about the parenting, especially the role of a mother, having been she being the major part of their life in growing years. So it's a role of a mother to build the character. The
I
more than
see a
anything
mother
else.
makes a man.
Mm, yeah. True.
One of
Exactly.
the chapters is on a mother makes a man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, otherwise
mothers,
it's like, yeah, it's like nowadays everybody is like, we don't want boys, we don't want boys. That's the most common thing nowadays because everybody thinks girls are the best, for some reason or the other, because they
yeah,
fail to,
yeah,
yeah, it
true.
is right. So it is a lot of people, especially in south and all, they say, boys, previously it was like, boys, we want boys for different reason, in for 20, 30 years before. But now even though they have boys, they're not happy because after marriage they completely go on into a different world and they never take care of their parents and things like that.
No, I don't think so. I
So
don't think
it's
so.
it's there is something like that. So
Boys are equally concerned about their parents.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
their way of showing it is different.
Mm. So
That's otherwise they are equally concerned.
mm.
At least I
Blessed.
find all these friends whom I've interviewed in this book,
Mm.
they're all mothers who are very happy with the boys, the way the
Boys,
boys
yes.
treat them and with respect. See, it's up to us as mothers to win that
That's what,
respect.
yeah, that's the point I
That's
want to
the-
mention here, because yeah, like if they from the very beginning, if they teach them how they treat the women in their life, so they can never these situations doesn't happen ever, even when
Absolutely.
they grow up, they get
So I
married.
tell mothers, please don't spoil your sons. Call them Superman. You are Wonder Man. No, they're not. They're just ordinary human beings.
Ordinary humans, yeah, exactly.
Treat them like ordinary human beings,
True.
and they'll be human. If you treat them as Superman, yeah,
They will not be even a human.
they'll dump you because they are Superman.
So,
So
oh,
all
that
those
is
who have boys,
mm,
enjoy them. And they say a man is a man, a daughter is a daughter all her life, a son is a son till he gets a wife. That's
till
a
you get
wrong
to it.
narrative. That's a wrong narrative. It's not so. Not at all so.
Mm,
Stop it. Don't keep repeating that. A
yeah,
son and daughter are that all their life. It
yeah.
depends on how you raise them.
That's what. That's where the secret lies in, ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen. So
How
yeah,
you're bringing up. Focus on it. Please focus on bringing up your children with
yeah,
the right kind of values.
yes.
For which
On this
you have to
beautiful.
have the right kind of values.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I read this a beautiful line somewhere, a few days back, saying that anything in this world can be outsourced except parenting. That's
sometimes you have to. Maybe some tragedy happens and okay, so outsourcing. is the only alternative, then it'll happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those who take that outsourced action must know how to handle that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's so important because you brought the child into the world. You
Mm,
owe it to that child to give it the
yeah,
right kind of values. They
exactly.
didn't ask to be born.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. That was such an emotional talk today.
Thank you.
Great to have you on the show with us tonight. I enjoy the conversation. I'm very, very sure a lot of people out there have enjoyed the conversation as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it from our author saga today. That is from Chaya Srivatsa. Okay,
Yeah.
Srivatsa, and with a wonderful book, bringing up boys. So grab it as soon as possible, go through it, and I'm sure you will love it. And more importantly, try to get what's in there in the book and try to see the best of it. Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Swarna. I
Thank
really
you.
am honored to be in this. Pick a
Yeah.
book.
It's equally our pleasure too. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone in the room and who are watching us live. And see you all again next week with another beautiful author and another beautiful book. Thank you so much. See you all. Bye bye.